Gotta do my button here, guys. Don't want to show too much skin. People go crazy. Hey, everybody. I should put some music on. Everyone says you got to put more music, so I don't have any music. For those who don't. Oh, I got to shut me off. Shut up, Shane. You talk too much. God damn it. There you go. Hey, guys. This is Shaney Entertaining. I'm gonna put some Shaney Entertaining music because everybody seems to have music now, so I got to put some Shaney Entertaining music, whatever that is. I actually have my own Shaney music, so let's listen to some Shaney Entertaining music to start our day while we wait for people to come on and drop by and say hi while I rant and rave about Hollywood and all that's wrong. So let's listen to some Shaney music. This is. All right, so I'm supposed to be dancing while the music goes on, so that's what's the norm now. The Bat 2C. All right, enough of that. A lot of people now are doing that music thing. I don't know why people got into that, but lo and behold, they're doing it. So good for us. Yeah. So today, guys, I know it took a while before I got into the whole Game of Thrones rage thing. I've been busy all week, haven't had a chance, working 9 to 5. What a way to make a living. And also have to, do my other live streams on other people's channels before my own, apparently. So there I go. But yeah, I'm finally ready to do it because this is something that's pretty. Well, it's annoying. It's only gotten more annoying as time went on. Because for people who were huge fans of the show, waited for a good payoff for it, and were let down. And somehow we are at fault. Somehow we as fans are jerks because we expect something that they set up and raised the bar for and gave us expectations about. And when they didn't meet our expectations because somehow we thought good story writing is too much to ask for as opposed to half-assed slackery, which is what they gave us at the end, like some chopped up, quick edited piece of nonsense, and called it a show. So, Shaney, when people ask you, what was your thoughts on Game of Thrones? What would you say? Well, I'd say that's the sort of blinkered Philistine pig ignorance I've come to expect from this non-creative garbage. That's what Hollywood is. It's just non-creative garbage from now on. It doesn't bode well for the future of pretty much anything from Star Wars to whatever we like. I mean, if the greatest show, what we consider to be the greatest written show in television, can't even provide us with some a dignified ending, then what do we have to look forward to, guys? Let's be honest. What do we have to look forward to? Because at the very least, we deserve some kind of dignified answer, some form of dignified ending, and we did not get one here. And apparently, we're all assholes for demanding it, as with the petition would suggest. When the actors found out that a million people wrote a petition saying that this was not okay. We do not like this. People spent good, hard-earned money on this, and you obviously did not care to produce anything of value. So that's really the case of it. So hold on, let's see if I can get into I'm still waiting for some people because people tend to always come a little bit later in the middle of a situation. I think I got to start putting some hashtags or tags onto my Twitters when I start putting out this stuff, because I think people tend to find it later on. They're like, "Oh, he's on? Well, I didn't know that." And then they come. And then it's just a gay old time. The gay old time that we didn't have watching episode 6. So All right, guys. So let's get into this because I'm actually pressed for time today. I'm going to be doing another live stream right after this on another channel because I'm in demand apparently. Not really. Anyway, so yeah, this is my thoughts on the actual episode itself. See, I'm watching this episode, and the whole time I'm thinking to myself, I really don't care anymore. I don't know if you guys felt the same way, but the whole time I'm watching it, I kept thinking to myself, whatever was going to happen, good or bad, I just didn't care. I mean, I found myself asking uh, why I'm hating on a character that I loved for so long, and it didn't take, and like just one episode ago I was fine with, and now I hate her after one episode of just nonsense. I want her dead, and I'm like, why am I even like? I kept saying I hope they give her a good death at least, and I'm thinking to myself, but why? The mental capacity of me, I'm like thinking, like doing mental gymnastics in my head, trying to figure out. I'm actually saying that I want Daenerys dead. The girl who I was following, who I was rooting for, I now want her dead. It's horrible. And it wasn't done in any sort of you know or organic manner. Like she just went off. I hate children and just started firebombing everybody. It didn't make any sense to her character. And I don't care if people say, well, she's always had a hint. There was hints that she was going to turn crazy. There were hints. Okay, don't tell these people want to make excuses. Don't tell me you knew that she was going to firebomb kids. Okay, don't tell me you knew that from all those little things that happened seasons ago, that you thought that the Khaleesi, the breaker of chains, the one that everyone adores, was going to go crazy. No, you want to believe in some narrative that somehow it makes sense, and it doesn't. It just doesn't make any sense, and it's not justifiable. I don't like. I understood a little bit of crazy. Okay, a little bit of crazy. I mean, to the extent in which she maybe went straight for, the war is over. People, the military dropped their weapons, and she burnt the military anyway. That I could understand that. I could understand her trying to get upset at Jon Snow because because of her ambition, and that was set up pretty well. That her ambition might have led her to, I wouldn't even say kill Jon Snow, but maybe arrest Jon Snow or something like that. But I never thought in a million years she just, firebombed the entire streets with running children and mothers just, oh, why, and then just have her go up the street, firebombing everybody. I mean, and then the explanation she gave in this episode, which, okay, first of all, let's go into the beginning of the sex episode with Tyrion Lannister. The stuff that bothered me: Tyrion Lannister walking down the street in the first episode scene with with really weird expressions, because I was noticing his expressions, and I kept going, is he getting commands from directors as he's doing? Because it felt like his face kept changing. Maybe I'm the only one that noticed this, but he kept going like as if he was trying to figure out a good face for what he was seeing, and I felt like somebody was prompting him the whole time. No, your face is too small, too angry. No, too casual. Make it more scary, more fair, more afraid. Change your. And he just kept. I felt his face never seemed like it was rested. But that could just be me. I was looking for that. I'm a facial expression guy. No. So I was looking at him going, and he's just scouring the scene, trying to figure out how his feeling was. And here's the thing that really got me about this sequence is that everything in this should have been everything in this that happened in this in this episode, and the episode, because of what happened in the previous episode, should have made us feel something. I felt nothing. And the actors didn't help. I'm not saying that they were not told to do this. I'm not saying it wasn't the directors. I'm not even blaming the actors themselves as being bad actors. What I'm saying is that there was no expression and nothing. And so therefore nothing for me to draw upon. I didn't feel anything. As he's scouring the wreckage, I'm not feeling it. I'm not feeling anything. He's kind of got this dead face. Like, just like, I just don't feel it. Then you got this again, the yada yada stuff. He goes looking for Jamie and Cersei, and he sees. And this is one that I found funny. He goes into that where the opening of the cave, I guess, to the underground where the cave-in happened, and you see this giant gateway, and it's all stoned to the top. And I'm thinking to myself, oh, he ain't getting through this. And then that's exactly what I thought. Oh, he ain't getting through this. And then all of a sudden they do the yada, 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 cut to the next scene. Suddenly he manages to get through. I'm like, all right. So he somehow climbed the stones, pushed through the stones, got underneath. And I just found that kind of ridiculous. Like they built this whole cavern with like, you don't know what's beyond there. How do you know that whole thing isn't filled with stone? But, he looks up and he's just like, plot, it's just yada, yada, yada. Next scene, he's on the other side suddenly in moments and seconds. So there he is. And he sees Jamie right on the top of the rocks, because when cave-ins happen and they kill you and they crush and they bury everything, like that's the funny part is how the entrance was buried to the top with rocks. But somehow the rocks just managed to magically fall in the direction of just the entrance, because everything else seemed kind of devoid of a lot of stone, because he was lying on top of it, only a couple of rocks on top of him and Cersei. And that's one of the things that kind of pisses me off. Everyone kept saying, well, isn't that a poetic ending for her? And I just think to myself, I don't care. I don't want a poetic ending for her, nor him. I hate them both. She just beheaded a character in the last episode, and she gets a poetic ending. Why do I want her to have a poetic romantic ending? I want her to suffer like Joffrey did. I want her to be struggling to breathe air and just her head explode. I don't understand why I'm sitting here going, sympathizing or empathizing. Hey guys, Death by Saber, how's it going, bud? Hey, you're awake? Good to see you're awake. Death by Saber, guys, go check his channel. He's awesome. He does a lot of really like amazing videos puts lightsabers and fights fish with lightsabers and attacks his family with electric shocks, like the Emperor Palpatine. He's really good. Check him out. And yeah, so you have this whole situation where I'm like, now everyone's romanticizing the evil villain that I couldn't stand, that I wanted dead from the beginning, and I'm supposed to sit here going, that's a wonderful ending for her. No, I got no satisfaction out of it. I got nothing. And I don't even care about like Tyrion, like either Tyrion or Jamie should have killed her. But apparently they didn't. And so, yeah, I will be doing the live stream on, Death by Saber asked me a question. Yeah, I'm going to be doing it at 3:00, the live stream with Passionate Play. So good. Go check us out there. It's on her, and I'll put a link on the bottom after where you guys could find it. Me and Passionate Play, we did a live stream together on my channel, and now I'm going to do one on her channel. It's only fair, guys. So there's that sequence, and I'm just whatever. Another thing that I'm just like whatever, shaking my head through most of this stuff. Then Daenerys goes on and she does her best impression of Maleficent with the wings coming out of her back that belong to the dragon. Get it, guys? She's evil? Nudge, nudge. Hey, wasn't that an awesome shot? It's like a film student thought of that right out of college. This is a genius. This is a genius shot. No, people think I'm just a creative genius for it. No, I thought it was kind of hackish, to be honest. Anyway, so here we go. Maleficent comes walking out, and she talks like again like the Adolf Hitler thing, which is funny because a lot of people are like, I can't believe they turned her into Hitler. Like, nor can I, but there it is. And she starts talking about how she wants to free the world. I guess free the world from life, and from and from sunscreen. Hey guys, if you want her to be free when she frees the world or purges it of evil, guys should put on some sunblock before you do, because I don't think you're going to survive otherwise. Anyway, so she talks about that, and then Tyrion gets all teary-eyed, walks up to her and throws the pin at her, saying, "I don't want to be your hand," and then he quits, and then basically he gets thrown in jail for that. Death by Saber says, apologies for calling my dog Pet Cemetery last night. People treat their dogs like a member of the family. I need sensitivity training. Yes, you do. The dog was crying all night. He didn't like what you said. He was tearing up. So yeah, I was choked up all about it, and I couldn't sleep at night because he said my dog. It's Pet Cemetery. Yeah, he's a cutie pie. If you see him in person, he's actually really, really cute. He's got a teddy bear look. In person, in Dogson, I don't know. Anyway, so back to my craziness. So anyway, back the whole thing is just stupid. And then she says to people, like, you know, that she's going to purge everybody or purge everybody, purge the world and may free everyone, I guess, of life. And then everyone, yay! This is the Khaleesi I've always known. All the Dothraki and the Unsullied were just cheering her on because they loved her for being benign and beautiful and loving and kind. And now they're cheering her on for being evil and a whack job. So I guess everyone else got crazy, not just her. The entire army got crazy, apparently, from one episode to the next. So the craziness is abound. Jon Snow still doesn't know what the hell he's doing. He still has dreams of being a barista. And doesn't want to be king. My queen, she's my queen. He just keeps repeating over and over again. My queen, my queen. Goes and visits Tyrion Lannister. Tyrion then says to her, good stuff. She just says, she knows she's crazy, right? And he's like, nah, she's good. She's all right. Yeah, those kids were going to die anyway at some point in their life. He's like, what about your family? Did you see her speech about trying to, rescue the world or save the world? And you not think that that's going to come to Winterfell? And he was like, all like dumb face, like, and he's like, what about, she's my queen. And he walks out, and then just before he walks out, he says, what about Sansa and your sisters? Now all of a sudden he's like, you said my sisters. Or you say that name. And then he gets all angry. That's when Jon has a conscience. So he's a bit of a douchebag. He got turned into a complete douchebag at the end of this, apparently, because he only seems to care about his own family, not innocent civilians and innocent people. So then you got the whole sequence where Jon then walks into the castle to go see of Dany, who's now pretending she's the princess of Disney, and la la la, I'm in front of my throne. Look at how wonderful my throne is. Doesn't want to sit on her throne. She just waited her whole life for this, and decides better to savor the moment and just stare at the throne instead of sitting on it. So he goes and sees the dragon. The dragon then looks at him like, "Hey, what you doing? What you doing, bro?" And then the dragon goes back to sleep, and he's like, "I'm cool, bro." Walks in, and here you go. You got that moment, like, what's going to happen? There's some tension here. Is he going to kill her? Is he going to join her? Is he going to bend the knee? What's he going to do here? And he decides to make out with her because now she's in the mood to make out with her nephew. And it was a moment where I thought, okay, this is kind of interesting, where he's actually trying to get her to see if she's could be normal. Can I, please be normal. You could sense it in his, please be normal. Don't be crazy. I love you. Don't be crazy. But I love you in a platonic sense because I don't make out with you the way you want me to, which led to your craziness to begin with, which I don't understand. Does Jon love her? Doesn't he love her? I mean, he apparently loves her enough to call her, my queen, but doesn't seem to love her enough to plan a decent kiss. I don't get it. I mean, he seems to be kind of, when they say you're blinded by love, he seems to be blinded by love, but doesn't seem to love her at the same time, which, all right, whatever. So then they make out, and just as they make out, you got that cliche old stab to the side. Ooh, I feel something sharp in my side. What's going on? And then she just, oh. And that's your Khaleesi's death, guys. Oh. Just like that. She made that noise and everything. Right in his arms. Khaleesi, how did you do this? And that was her death. This really, like, this character that they built up, for he just dies alone in the arms of somebody that she knew for less than a year. They built up none of it, and it was there was no. I had no passion for it. I had no emotion toward it. I didn't know how to feel. I just felt like, oh God. And then the dragon, who senses the death of her mom, comes in a rage. Ah, you killed my mother! And then decides, instead of killing the person who was responsible for it, decides to, with conscience. Because here's the thing: does this dragon seem? Are they trying to say that this dragon has? Hey, Toriel G, how you doing? You're always here. I'm glad to see you stop by once again. Opinion, you came. I'm so happy. Hey guys, check out Opinion and Toriel G. Their channels are awesome. Opinion likes to give his opinion, and Toriel likes to give her opinion as well through images. But check out their channels; they're awesome. And Opinion's a really funny guy. He's a fun guy. So yeah. So now you got the whole you got this whole dragon Rant, and he doesn't know what to do with his emotions because he's got this bro love with Jon Snow apparently, and then he's angry that he killed. But there's some consciousness in this dragon because he seems to be self-aware, and this is the one that really got me about this. Is this dragon self-aware? Because he's self-aware. Then he allowed himself to be used to burn innocent kids, and he apparently thinks that's wrong because what does he blame? He blames the throne for her going crazy, and I guess the throne was to blame for her death because he shows a level of cognizance, of awareness of what's going on, intelligence. There was no even set up to figure out whether he has intelligence. It's just random. He has intelligence, guys, and he burns the throne symbolically because that's what got her crazy. Was her drive for her ambition for the throne. And I keep thinking to myself, so he was conscious this whole time. He was self-aware. So how did he allow himself to be used in a way to kill kids if he thought that was a bad thing? So he also knows bad and good. He knows the difference between killing children and adults because he knows she went crazy. And I guess he kind of was at peace with the fact that that I'm talking about the dragon here. And this is how silly this is. The dragon, I'm contemplating the thoughts of this dragon because he burns the throne, seeming like he cares about the end result, and is kind of ashamed of it. The dragon. So opinion is that the dragon was in on it. It's Smaug's cousin. I think it was Smaug's cousin. And he's gonna go and have sex with Donkey at the end. Just take off. That's where he went to go seek his love, Donkey. Hey, Shrek. Hey, look at this dragon. I'm gonna have sex. That's where he goes. And so anyway, he burns and melts the throne. And also this throne, the fire is apparently so hot, guys, that it melts like steel, like really quickly. Turns it into molten steel and burns and almost melts stone because you see the stone exploding behind it. But apparently it doesn't singe Jon Snow's hair at all. His hair is still Vidal Sassoon perfect. He stands there with his hair just glistening beautifully. He's just like, oh, this is hot. Dude, he would have his face would have been singed. Did you see how close the fire got? This is if it's hot enough to burn through molten steel, to turn steel into molten steel, then it's definitely hot enough to turn his hair into, at least puff his hair a little bit. Do a Michael Jackson to his hair from the Pepsi commercial. Do something like that. Is it too soon for that joke, guys? I don't think so. So anyway, so then after that moment, he just decides, I'm taking my girl and I'm going home. I'm leaving. Just takes her off and she's just, bye, Daenerys. He takes her off like Mary Poppins at the end, flying away. We'll see you later. Like, okay. We don't have to deal with the funeral. We don't have to deal with any consequences. We don't have to deal with any of that. The body is just magically gone. That's good. Good thing we don't have to have a whole scene where the Unsullied cry over her, where there's an actual sadness about it, where maybe the anger after seeing the body, and then you see why Jon Snow gets arrested or whatever else happens. The yada, yada, yada at 2020, 2 weeks later or something? Like Seinfeld. Yada, yada, yada. 2 weeks later, this is what's going on. Apparently, winter's over in 2 weeks, by the way, guys. It was a really short winter. Opinion says it's like the ridiculous 5 seconds it took for the gold to melt before being poured on Danny's. Yeah. But the thing is like we're going to assume that John, like, let's assume for a minute that fire is that hot, okay? Which it's not. I mean, I guess it is apparently, but it seems to be inconsistent. Because the fire apparently wasn't strong enough. It wasn't strong enough when in the episode right of the White Walkers, it wasn't strong enough to blow through walls then, because Winterfell's walls were fine. When the other dragon, the White Walker dragon, didn't destroy the walls of Winterfell, nor did it penetrate the rock behind in which Jon Snow was hiding behind. So apparently there's some discrepancy on the fire on how hot it blows. Maybe it depends on how angry he is. I don't know, but it definitely would have singed his hair. He would have had some singeing, but apparently not. Just roast the marshmallows while he's doing it. So anyway, 2 weeks later, guys, 2 weeks, and we get no satisfaction with the arrest of Jon Snow. We get no satisfaction. We don't. Apparently, the Unsullied were just sitting there going, "What do we do for 2 weeks?" Danny usually killed people right away. He didn't wait 2 weeks. But we're without her, we don't know what to do. So we'll just wait. We'll wait for some foreign people that we don't really like to tell us how to handle our own prisoners. That's what the Unsullied decide. Death by Saber says, instead of a funeral, we got the waiter bottle scene, hand adjusting chair. Yeah, okay, that's don't jump the gun there, DBS. I'm getting to that very soon. Don't worry. So so then you have this really ridiculous sequence where they're in the auditorium, and you got all the Starks, and you got some random people that I really don't care about. Apparently, going to judge and sitting there saying, "We want Jon Snow, and then some say, no, Jon Snow's fine. We're siding with you because we thought Danny's actions were just fine." And so they're sitting there arguing what to do with Jon Snow because he was a traitor. And she said, it's funny how he said, I forgot her name, the cousin or the sister of, I forgot his name. I don't care. Anyway, one of them said that he sides with her because she helped against the White Walkers. And I'm like, really? She didn't help. She actually made it worse by getting the dragons, and giving them a dragon, because they didn't have a dragon before she got there. And it's really the only person that did anything was Arya. So I don't know why they're giving her all the credit, because she really did nothing. She actually gave them more army than they had. So if she hadn't been there, I think it would have gone a lot smoother because they wouldn't have had a dragon on their side. They wouldn't have all the Unsullied or the soldiers that rose from the dead, and so I think she actually hurt the chances more than helped. Anyway, so now we have them arguing over what to do with Jon Snow, who's been sleeping in the cage for a while, and also what to do with Tyrion, because Tyrion's in shackles and he's sitting there with his face down, and they're like, they need to be punished. They need to be executed. And then Tyrion says, I have a thought. And they're like, really? The prisoner wants to say something, guys. The prisoner wants to say something. Shh, quiet. Let the prisoner talk. And the prisoner says, I have an idea what to do with me. Why do you get to choose? Pretty much what he said in essence. You're not the king. You're not the king of me. You don't get to choose. And then just what he says to her. He says to them, why should you get to choose? You're not the king of me. And then you go, whoa, you're right. I'm not the king of you. So maybe we should appoint a king. And no word of a lie, the guy in chains who they're trying to decide on his fate, they say, what about you? Why don't you be the king? They say that to the guy who's about to be judged. Maybe he should be the king. And I didn't know if I should cry or laugh or both or just shut the thing off, because I should have just shut it off. But there's a sick, sinister part in me that wanted to keep going. And I really was like internally laughing at this point because I really didn't care about much else. I went into this with no emotion, just going, this is just stupid. And at this point, after the last episode, the episode before, I had nothing left. So I was just doing it because to get it over with. And so I'm just legitimately laughing, and everything is kind of happening. And they're trying to make it so important. And he's like, and he gives this speech about democracy. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, someone talked about democracy. It's like, yeah, maybe we should all vote, and who's the king? Because Tyrion says he doesn't want to be the king. By the way, he contracted Jon Snow disease where he wanted to be a barista. So he apparently doesn't want to be king. Even though people don't realize it's good to be king. Anyway, so then they start laughing about what, and why don't we let our horses and our dogs vote too? So apparently they weren't fans of democracy. And then Tyrion, again, the guy who is on trial, says, well, what about Bran? He's got a great story. Huh? Hey, Bran? Why don't you be king, huh? And Bran said, finally, you guys you're in on the joke that I was in on all this time. I already knew this was going to happen. Because that's, it's like, thanks, Bran. Thanks for making this revelation even less important when you already knew that it was going to happen. You sit there like a mouth-breathing douche, not saying a damn word to anybody about what's going to happen, like all smug in his face. I just can't stand it. I can't stand him. I don't even care at this point who was going to be the king. At the point was just like, I just can't stand his character. His character has no life, no essence. He's just bland and boring. At the very least, you're going to have a most boring king in the history of kings. Because he's just going to know everything ahead of time. So what's the point? Anyway, so they say, yeah, that's a good idea. And then Sansa says, I want to be an independent state, though, still. Called it. And then he's like, sure, whatever. I don't care. Woohoo! Independent state. Yay, Winterfell. So there you go. You got there's your actual ending of the actual show, because after that it's just a bunch of so the actual ending comes now. Sorry, the real ending, real serious ending is Tyrion now being appointed Hand of the King because reasons. Why not? he was supposed to be king. Now his punishment is to be what he was before, Hand of the King, as punishment. Sure. So you get to be really punished there, having a cushy job. And the Unsullied are just like, okay, seems kind of unfulfilling of a punishment, but all right, whatever. We'll just go with it. We're stupid Unsullied anyway. We're just going to go in our sailboats and go somewhere right off to the wind. And then Arya has a revelation. She says, hey, remember that white horse that I was on? That kind of foreshadowed that I was some kind of I don't know what the hell that was supposed to foreshadow at the end of the last sequence when everything was burning. A white horse just claps, and then she's got the light that shines down on her with her face all muddy. And then Arya looks at the white horse at the end of the last season, the last episode, and then the horse says, "Hey, Arya, hop on, I'll ride you to safety. Let's ride into the wind." And then she says, like, okay, Silver, and hops on, and then so they take that. Apparently, that horse, I don't know what happened to that horse. That horse just disappeared. Oopsie. A lot of oopsies in this. There was a water bottle. Apparently, another continuity error. I was thinking Uber horse when I said it. Did anybody call for an Uber horse? That's what the horse said. Did someone call for an Uber horse? And he's like, oh, I did. And then she just hops on, and she's on her phone the rest of the time. She apparently had a revelation in that span of time that she was going to go and discover America, because that's what she decides to do. She apparently decides that her best as an assassin, someone trained to kill silently, is qualified to be the captain of a ship going across uncharted territory to find, we don't know what's west. Let's go check it out. We heard there was some real kick-ass party in the west. Let's go check it out. And so she just hops on. All right, let's go. I mean, there was no reason. Like, they didn't even give you like half a sequence to figure out that someone discovered something, that there might be an indication that there's something in the west. She just said, I'm going to go west. No one's been there. I'm like, okay. Maybe there's a good reason. Maybe this is the westest west you can get. We don't know enough about your land, but apparently there's more west than Westeros. Yeah, they were going to do a spin-off show. Apparently, I don't think that's going to happen at this point because I heard that they're going to do a wait and see approach. But that will be the most horrible show ever, dude. I have no interest at all in Arya putting on a mustache and going west to discover America. And then what is she going to do? She's going to go. Is she going to do the? Are they going to have her be like real? Just go there and kill the natives? Are they going to have her do that? Or are they going to have her shining with the white knight and the horse, rescue the natives, give them food and shelter, and give them rice, give them great stuff because they're poor and they're dying of disease, and so Arya has to feed the children. She's not Arya. She is Arya Teresa. Anyway, Arya Speedwagon. So she decides to go west because life is peaceful there. And so that happens, and I'm just like, all right, can this get any worse, guys? By the way, because this sounds horrible as it's coming out of my mouth. I'm hearing it. It sounds so bad. It sounds like a child. Not even a child wrote this. Actually, I think a child might have wrote this. It's like, and then, Daddy, I want you to make Arya go to sea and find America. Why? Because I'm learning about America in school, and so I think this would be a really cool move for her character. But she knows nothing about charting the seas and the stars and how to navigate. Why is she leading a ship? She should actually be scrubbing the ship. She's got nothing to contribute to this other than being on the ship itself. Like she has nothing, and she's got no intelligence, nothing to contribute to this direction. You know what I mean? Other than to just eat and take people's resources, because she doesn't do anything. She doesn't have the knowledge for it. But hey, she can kill White Walkers like the Dickens. She brings hepatitis to the West natives. Death lightsaber. Were you reading my mind again? Yay, herpes. So that was just stupid and went on. So that was really the kind of the final thing of interest. The rest was just watching Tyrion as Hand of the King in their conference room and waiting for everybody to arrive. And he just sees that the chairs aren't even. He's got to even the chairs. And this is a whole minute and a half sequence where it's quiet. And he's just like, oh, that chair needs adjusting. Let's just adjust to that here. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's good. That was whole scene, by the way, guys. That was going on for way too long, and it was just like, it just felt like, are they really just doing this right now? Is like, it feels like they're just trying to pad the hours, like they're padding. We got some time, just adjusting chairs, Tyrion. Don't worry, it'll seem like it's artistic and we're doing it on purpose, but we're just filling out the rest of the time. And the rest was like OCD. Yeah, he definitely had OCD, He's just sitting there going, that's what happened to Tyrion. He grew and became, obsessive compulsive. He was a drunk, drug addict, womanizer, and now he's obsessive compulsive about chairs. And so he adjusts the chairs. And then you have a group of the Knights of the Round Table come in, the Knights of the Dumb Table. And then, Bran strolls in at this, he just says nothing really of consequence. I'll just let you guys have at it. I'm the king and all, but I got some wall staring to do, and I got booked an appointment with the tree. Me and the tree have a meeting, and I'm going to stare at some walls, and I might do some crow sex. Just join the crows and just have some crow loving. So anyway, he just F's off, and then the rest of the sequence is just them discussing just political stuff and intrigue. Oh, wonderful. And then they pan away. Yeah, I thought that was going to be the end. And I was like, all right, that's kind of lame. And then, no, they show us Jon Snow, who apparently I forgot to mention he was banished because I didn't care. He was banished to where he wanted to go. He wanted to go beyond the wall to his friends, and his wolf, and hopefully Mahler will leave that alone now, because he goes and meets up with his wonderful wolf. Opinion says Arya opens the first Victorian secret in the West. Yeah, But there's gonna be like no secret. I don't even think she has boobs. Did she even develop boobs? It'll be the worst kept secret ever. The natives are like, woman? I don't know. I think she's woman. She's little for woman. Maybe boy. Boy. Then why is she wearing panties? Yeah, that's what the natives are saying, by the way. I didn't say it. That's what the natives are saying. You can't judge me on that. So that's your show, guys. That's the ending. That's the climactic ending. Jon Snow walking to the meeting his wolf, and they make out, and then he sees his friend, and then they close the gate behind him, and just I cheered. I just woohoo! This is so satisfying. I love this ending. Wow. Yay. So that's what you have. That's a mitigated disaster ending to a show that was intelligent. That was, I mean, it was dark. It was nihilistic, but it was what it was. And this was just, I don't even know what this was. So here's let's go beyond this ending, because here's what gets me. It's funny because you have a bunch of actors who, like, at some point, when the trailer for this came out, and not the trailer, but the pilot comes out, right? And when you're an actor and a pilot, you're working on a pilot, you hope more than anything that the fans love this, right? Because if the fans don't love it, your pilot doesn't turn into an actual show. So you hope to God that your career goes somewhere when the pilot gets picked up. And so they're sitting there. Let's picture these actors sitting there waiting for this pilot to get picked up, because they were nobodies before. And so the pilot gets picked up and the fans love it. And now they're like, woohoo, we have jobs. Yay. I don't have to eat pea soup for breakfast every day that I found in the garbage. So yay, they're fine. They're no longer starving artists. And now they have a reason to live. And so now they become actors for the Game of Thrones. And this is a success. And the fans are loving it more and more. And they're giving their money, and they're buying the shirts, and they're memeing, they're doing the memes, and they have their theories and their disappointments, but they're hanging through it for like 7 years through this whole thing. Even when the books run out, they're like, and the quality dips a little, and they're like, that's okay. That's fine. We still love our characters, and we're still going to give in. And these guys are buying mansions and having wonderful careers on the backs of the fans that made this. The fans have been pretty loyal for most of it, even season 7, which I was kind of about, but it had some decent moments, but for the most part, it wasn't great. And suddenly now you have a petition of people, of these same fans that cheered them and loved them, because there was 1 million fans who cheered them and loved them, and now are unsatisfied with an ending that they themselves were like, when interviewed, were like, best ending ever. Kit Harington, how do you feel about the ending? Disappointing, because I wanted to be a barista, and he never got to be a barista. Tyrion's questioning things and things that don't make sense. They themselves have questions about it, but apparently the fans are not allowed. When people voice their opinion in the only way they really know how, it's not we can call up the directors, Barry and Weiss, and say, hi, I represent the entire fandom of Game of Thrones. What the hell is this? This is just shit. Like, we can't do that. We can't call them. The only thing we can do is make petitions. We know that petitions aren't going to work. They're not going to remake the entire season. That wasn't never. I mean, I hope people understood that when they signed it. You can never tell these days. But they were never. It was just a way of voicing their displeasure with it. And it's well, that's just disrespectful. You got Arya. You got Sansa. I don't even know the actress. I don't really care. She just sits there going, that's just disrespectful. This is just this whole disrespectful. And then Kit Harington says, I don't care what they do. I mean, they don't realize that we worked hard, and I know we worked hard for this. And if theoretically, they could just go F themselves. I'm like, oh, wonderful. Wonderful to say to the fan base that made you rich and the fan base that built you up. You could have said, I'm sorry, I'm disappointed. I'm sorry they got disappointed by the ending. We tried, guys. We tried. I tell you, we tried. And they're not even upset at the actors. No one's even blaming the actors. We're actually upset more about the directors and how it was handled. Death by Saber says, we will see Starbucks cup and water bottles in the new Star Wars. Yeah, well, anyway, I just feel it's just funny how these actors are so spoiled and they don't see how they don't value the fans anymore. And you're seeing this more and more as time goes on with Star Wars and Rian Johnson, and it's just this entitlement that these stars and celebrities are starting to. Oh well, they've kind of had, but like this is getting to a point where it's like no one's even allowed to have an opinion anymore. And I think that as far as, I don't know what people were doing, were people calling them out, were people, sending death threats to them? I don't know. If that was going on, obviously I'm never against that. I'm always against that. But the petition itself was harmless. And for them to go off on the fans for that, screw them. And the horse they rode in on, the white little horse that took them to America, screw them. So anyway, that's my final thought on the Game of Thrones and the future of Game of Thrones is screw that noise. I'm not trusting it. And I don't trust very much of anything anymore. As far as the future of Star Wars and Berian Weiss is concerned, no, go to hell. I'm sorry. If I can't trust you to complete an ending and make, and actually give a shit enough to give a crap long enough to give us a decent ending instead of this ridiculously rushed ending, which was rushed. And anyone said, no, it wasn't. It was completely rushed. The HBO gave them 2 seasons to complete it. They didn't want it. They wanted to do it in 6 and more episodes, by the way, but they wanted 6 episodes and they specifically only wanted to do it in this season. So if you thought you could get it done in 1 season, then you should have done it. There's no excuse for it. And I don't trust them going further. And everyone says, well, maybe they'll learn their lesson and do something better in Star Wars. And I think that's naive, and you're just as naive as Danny when Jon Snow was making out with him, because that's what you're going to get. You're going to get a big old French kiss from Mickey Mouse, like, oh, hey, I'm going to make out with you, and then he'll stab you in the back, because that's what you're getting. That's what you're going to get with these guys. They don't really care. They don't care about you. They care about this, and they really just care about themselves, and they don't even care about their own art. That's really what gets me the most, is that they don't care about their own art. Hey, Stormtrooper babe, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a while. So enough of that. That's pretty much all I have. That's all I have to say about that. Opinion says no, absolutely not. They'll ruin Star Wars too. No, Star Wars is already ruined. We can all agree on that. They won't ruin. You can't ruin what has already previously been ruined. You can't crush rubble, and that's what they I guess they could turn it into sand. But anyway, Star Wars is their cinema lab. This is what you don't work it out through Star Wars movie. No, of course not. They're not, and I don't think they plan to. I don't buy into the fact that they I don't buy into the fact that they are all they were planning to do Star Wars. I think they had previously planned to do seven or 8 seasons, and that was it. And they had done it for the longest time, and they've been saying that for the longest time. So they already knew how long the season was going to be, how long the series was going to be. So there's no excuse. All it is a bunch of all writing now has become subverting expectation. Let's forget about how we get to that point. We just have to trick people because we're on blogs reading what people say, and if we give the we'll look poorly if we give them the ending they want. So we have to give them the ending that they don't expect, and in doing so, they give the ending that nobody wants or respects, and it's just garbage. I could do the same thing. Hey, who's going to sit on the throne? The tree. How about the tree with the weird face? It had an interesting thing. Let's just let's name the tree, or the dragon. The dragon sits on the throne. Why not? Who the hell cares? Him and Donkey. This is my babe. Anyway, guys, that's what I have to say about that. Now I'm just gonna quickly touch upon, because I actually have to go to my other live stream. And if you guys want to check that out, I'm going to be on Passionate Plays live stream at 3 o'clock. and I'll leave a link for you guys to go check it out. She's a sex therapist, a sex coach, and she's going to teach me the ways of the Force. Anyway, so I'm going to be doing a live stream on her channel right after this, so you guys can come join me. That's why I'm dressed all sophisticated, like. But I'll probably undo a button when I get there. So anyway, yeah, the end. So this is what I have to think about the Vanity Fair photos. And I want you guys to take this in, because I saw the photos. I've heard all the analysis of all these photos. And so what do I think? I couldn't give one rat's ass. I really don't care. I don't give a crap, because none of those photos show me what I want to see, which is how they plan to fix Luke Skywalker. They don't show me anything like that. They don't address the problems that I had. They don't address anything. So I can't get excited for things that are just, you know, here's some images, guys. That's more Mickey Mouse going, "Wow, they'll just slap up anything. Just throw out some images. Who the hell cares? Put some monsters, some horses that look like boars. Throw out a girl with a weird helmet that looks like she's from the Rocketeer, and they'll love it. They'll just talk about it and make all kinds of theories. We don't even have to work hard at it. They'll just do their own work." And here we are doing what they thought. Just throw out some images and let us do all the work for them. And then in the end, once we've done all the work and all the theorizing, all of them are going to be wrong, because they like to subvert expectations. And so all your theories are going to go for crap, and then you're going to be disappointed, and nothing's going to get fixed. They're going to try and please everybody and please no one at the same time. And that is exactly what I feel about the subject of the Vanity Fair images. Opinion: if I see one more goddamn pic of Luke and R2 standing brooding in fire, yeah, I know. Hey, R2, we're really not in this. I don't know why they keep taking shots of us. He just sits there with R2, and R2's like, I was asleep and they woke me up for this. I was having a good dream. I had a bunch of naked R2 droids hovering around me. So anyway, that's really what I feel about this. I really think, guys, that don't give in to the dark side of Disney. They're going to fool you. Let them prove themselves. Don't give them anything. Don't give them an easy way out. We're angry for a reason. The Last Jedi didn't just suck. It blew chunks. It ruined Star Wars. Don't let them razzle dazzle you with some crazy photos. Stay strong and stay angry, my friends. Like, let them earn you back. Don't give them don't give them you know, I know everyone wants to love this. Nancy wants me to imitate Tyrion. I have to watch Tyrion. I haven't watched him and done him in a long time. I did him a long time ago. All I could remember is him talking very slow. But I no, it's not Tyrion. It's a bad Tyrion. I'll do one eventually, but not today. The last thing I had to say. Now I'm actually going. Yeah, guys, I actually have to go too. This was a quick one, so that's all I have to say about this. Just don't give in to this, because this is all razzle dazzle nonsense that they like to do to get us sucked in, and it works almost every time. So I actually have to go now to my next live stream, and you guys can follow me if you wish. If not, that's fine too. But I do appreciate each and every one of you coming. Once again, go check out Death by Saber's lightsaber. Go check out his channel. He's fun. Go check out Opinion's channel. Subscribe to everybody. Subscribe to me. Stormtrooper Babe, go check her out. And Toriel G, go check out their channels, guys, because they're all wonderful people, and they're all fighting the good cause. They're fighting the good fight, and we got to support each other in this fight against Hollywood, which just seems to be getting worse. All right, guys. So I'll talk to you later, and thank you guys for this and for coming. All right, and you guys, I'll leave a link on the comments of this if you guys want to check it out. All right. Thanks, guys, and I'll see y'all later.